I would just maybe give a little bit of background on the HIA since most of you are working in medical cannabis here. So the HIA, Hemp Industries Association, is a trade association that was founded in 1994 by members of the hemp industry, mostly working with industrial hemp, things like clothing and other goods made out of the stalk and the seed from the hemp plant. And it represents manufacturers, farmers, researchers, and consumers who have been involved in the association. So we've been doing this for about 20 years. Most of you probably know hemp maybe as the swag or the non-drug variety of cannabis that you really can't get high from. The DEA actually has an official term for this. When they seize marijuana and they find it wild in a farmer's field, for example, they call it ditchweed in their reports. And so that's kind of a good indication of, a little bit more background on what hemp is in terms of the cannabinoid content. Hemp is generally cannabis with less than 1% THC and typically has a ratio of greater than 1 of CBD to THC, so it's a little higher in CBD. By regulation, actually we were very fortunate this year to get a new bill or a new law passed into the Farm Bill that actually gives us a definition for industrial hemp, and for the first time now, hemp actually is distinct from marijuana under federal law. That definition, as well as a number of other state definitions, is 0.3% THC or less. And there's nothing that says anything about THC or CBD in there, rather. But typical hemp varieties that you see grown in Canada and other places around the world typically have maybe say 0.2% THC, and they might have 0.5% or 0.6% CBD. So it'll be higher in CBD, but typically hemp strains of cannabis do not have a high amount of resin. They don't have a really high content of cannabinoids in general. So the HIA's worked to expand markets for hemp and also to protect against unreasonable regulations. And one of the things that happened in 2000, the DEA actually issued a couple of administrative rules where they attempted to ban hemp foods or any product actually that contained any amount of THC, and they didn't really define that, they just used the word any. And the hemp industry was very concerned about this. All the products that are out on the market, if you look at them, you might be able to find, say, a few parts per million of THC in, let's say, a hemp seed oil. And so there was the potential that those products could be completely removed from the shelves. And these are nutritious, healthy products. And we didn't want to see that happen, so we ended up going to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and we were successful in getting an injunction in 2001, and then ultimately got a decision in 2004. In that final decision, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said that products that were made from hemp seed that contained trace amounts of THC would not be banned by the DEA, and they overturned that rule. So, as I mentioned earlier, typically the cannabinoids in hemp are quite low in general. Also, cannabinoids are primarily found in the leaves and the flowers of the plant. And there was actually a study done by, it was published in the Journal of Analytical Toxicology, talking about the amount of THC that might be in hemp products and how it related to drug testing. In any case, they noted specifically that THC and other cannabinoids are only present in hemp products or hemp seed, for example, or oil as a result of sort of contamination. The seed itself does not contain THC, but the fact that the seeds are produced in the flowers of the plant, it can get THC or other cannabinoids on the shell of the seed. So in the pressing process, you might get some small quantities of those cannabinoids in the finished product. The industry's actually established a standard on this because there was concerns about drug testing and the potential that somebody might consume a hemp product and then fail a drug test. And we didn't want to see that happen, and so there was another study that was published in the Journal of Analytical Toxicology that established standards. The industry has voluntarily adopted those standards, and so products today, you can eat as much hemp seed or hemp seed oil or whatever as you want. You're not going to fail a drug test from that. So the main concern I think that the industry has is confusion that has developed on the market. The industry, companies involved with the HI have been selling hemp oil or hemp seed oil, which is commonly called hemp oil, for more than 2 decades now, and it's pretty well known. You can find it on stores, shelves all across the country. And so some of the products more recently that have come out with CBD have been also using the term hemp oil. And so and there may be perhaps some blended products, but there's a need for some clarity so that consumers and people that are looking for these products will know what the difference is. If you're just looking for a nutritional product that has, that's hemp oil and has the nutritional aspects of that, you should be able to tell what the difference is between that and a product that's specifically being marketed for the CBD content. So we've been working with APA, and I know there's a cannabis committee that's actually been meeting and discussing this issue, and we're hoping that we can come up with a resolution, and that's one of the things I think that we're hoping to resolve. So in any case, my time is up here, but hopefully we'll be able to continue this discussion. I'd be happy to talk to anybody after the presentation.